And so he said this, and this is the one that blew me out. He says, plan for order and you will be destroyed by chaos. He says, but prepare for chaos and you will thrive in any occasion. And you know, people, it's almost like it's missing in this country. We were trying to put cables in the ceiling, because the ceiling is constructed by people who came out of town, and we will need 2 cables or 3 cables. We decided to put 6. You know what I mean? And we said, look, if the 3 fail, we still have 3. Not only that, I remember when we were installing I was so glad when we were bringing the digital screen. I told the guy, we're moving to the back. This was how many years ago? 6, 7 years ago. And 7 years later, we're moving to the back. So when you prepare for something that you know might never happen, you know, I was calling my lawyer. I was talking to my executor of my will a few days ago, and I said, we've changed the policy in church. TBN is going to be part owner of this place. I wanted you to know us. And he started asking me, what's wrong with you? Are you planning to die? I said, of course I'm planning to die. It's part of the setup. Am I making sense? I'm just planning to die. That's all. I mean, I plan for life. Shouldn't I plan for death? But when people are afraid to talk about it, people are afraid to plan for death. They don't want to die. Well, I know I'm going to die. Not today, but I'm going to die. Amen? And I'm going to die a good death. And I'll finish preaching, sit down on the chair and go. That's quietly. No sickness, no disease, no hospital bills. That's my prayer. Amen? So I don't know what yours is. You want to live to be 2,000 years old in Nigeria? Good luck. So I want to leave that with you. But while we're doing that, let me just play 2 videos if the audio will go. And then we'll go to today's core matter. Sorry, it's my fault. Lord,
it was in winter. It was snow. Many years ago, I was traveling somewhere, and there was this particular airline. We were going to land, and it was in winter. It was snow. There was snow, and the pilot said, "Well," and I was very happy. It was good news to me. All right. And we were all confident because he told us, he said, you know, we have equipment on this airline. We are only 2 airlines that have installed this equipment at this point in the world. He said, so when we touch down in the airport, you can look around. You will not see any plane on ground because nobody is able to fly in this weather except 2 airlines. So you will only see that other airline if they are flying into New York at this particular point in time. The airport is going to be empty. And as he touched down, I looked around. I was happy because that means there will be nobody at immigration. All right, the queue won't be there. So I was really happy about it. That was what I was here. The lines are good. So I checked and I didn't see anybody. My heart was so glad. You see, when you are properly equipped, only few people can get to where you are getting to. Are you following what I'm saying? This is what I want to look at. Only few people here, and there was nothing. It wasn't that the plane was shaking and was saying, "Yeah, don't land this plane, don't land this plane, don't please, no." We landed normally. Are you following what I'm saying here? We landed normally. Look, I invited 2 ministers for a conference from America, a particular conference we had. One came on time, one came. I said, why didn't you? He said, the weather is bad, I won't be able to make it. So when the other one came, I said, but you entered the same plane now, which was Delta from Atlanta. How come this other person couldn't? Oh, he said, we took a particular, the weather was bad. So we had to go and hire a jet, and this jet had all this equipment, so we knew how to navigate our way, and we got there because we knew that we had to be there for you and all of that. So if you are not instrument rated, by necessity you must park. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you attempt to do something that you are not qualified, you will be in a spin, and eventually you'll be looking for how to do what, not to get to where you're going, but how to park the plane. You get what I'm saying here?
I wanted to leave that with you. There's one more I'm going to play. And I want you to notice that it's all about being prepared. But being prepared is also being equipped. I'm beginning to see that one of the biggest challenges we're facing in church, among the leadership, among the members, the unit heads, is the fact that they're not equipped to do the things that they know. You know what I mean? Or they want to do. Let me put it that way. Not that they know. They want to do. They have a desire. And I want to encourage you that you need to get yourself equipped. You need to make it a point of duty. You need skill to be well married. You need skills to be a good parent. You need to equip yourself. One more video by Bojo Emade. This one is interesting because it still talks about preparation, but I want you to see it. All right?
There was something I saw the coach of Arsenal do, which is very strong, and he was training them to go and play at Anfield. At Anfield, that's the Liverpool stadium, is the most hostile stadium. Ask any coach, ask Arsene Wenger, they'll tell you Anfield. Alex Ferguson, why don't you say Anfield? Those people are intimidating. They are singing from the beginning. Even if their 4 goals down, they are still coming at you. So what he did was that he got his players together, recorded all the sound of Anfield, and as they were practicing, he was playing it from the speakers. What he's trying to do is to get them conditioned to playing in a hostile environment. Because it's one thing to be passing the ball to yourself when you all say, hey, pass it. It's another thing for you to be passing the ball and they are calling your name, singing your song, calling your mother's name, and you turn around in anger. You know, one player said this and I forgot. He said, what was the worst thing that happened to you? He said, I went to play somewhere. It was former Manchester United player, Gary Neville. He said, and he put the ball down. He wanted to take a corner kick, and they started singing. His brother was Phil, and he was Gary. They both used to play. He said, and they were singing, they composed a song. If Gary and Phil can play for England, we also can play for England. He said, he turned around, looked at the people. He said, can you imagine that coming on you? We are saying if you feed your heart with faith, your heart will carry out. Are you following what I'm saying here? When you go through meditation there, nothing affects you. Words of discouragement from people, you have passed that stage. Are you following what I'm saying here? Things that people throw at you, you have passed that stage here. I'm saying that it's about training till you get to the point where you respond in a certain way to it.
Okay. But you get it now. So one of the ways we're going to be changing our training is that we're going to be allowing people to practically act out what they have been taught. Because I think a lot of people get a lot of theory in church. But when it comes to practical, there's very little exposure. What the Arsenal guy did was he put on the stadium speakers the noise they will be hearing in the stadium they were going to play. And psychologically, he began to prepare them. You know what I mean? So when they got into that space, they already knew that they were ready for it. And that's really what I want to do this morning. That's really where I want to go. It's to introduce to you what we're going to be doing as a church going forward, which is based on the 4 disciplines of execution. I don't know where everybody is this morning, and I really don't know why anybody would want to come late here this morning, but they are. So I'm going to depend on those of you who are here. Even Noti is not here, and I don't know why, because she's the main anchor point for this presentation. I've already sent it to her days ago when I asked her to study it, as well as the other leaders in church. And what are the systems of growth and engagement we're going to do in this church going forward? Now, this starts this Sunday. This starts from today, what we're about to do. I just simply want to explain it. You all, last year or 2 years ago, Pastor Femi's anniversary committee printed out copies of the church brochure that contained the curriculum of the church, contained the programs of the church, contained everything you needed to do about the church. That brochure is still available. I restricted the distribution of it because I felt if people were not backing it up. I was watching this morning, Pastor Isaac put the membership thing in the leaders page, and he also put, I think he normally puts the testimony thing. And I've noticed something. So I was asking myself, why would Pastor Isaac put the membership thing on the leadership page when all the leaders are members? Is that not a good question, right? Why would he have to, when everybody here is a member, why does he have to put join the church? It's because he's giving you materials for you to talk to other people. But I notice nobody cares. Nobody takes it, shares it with somebody they know in church. I don't know everybody in church. It's because we moved to this venue. I started seeing some people I thought they were coming for the first time. I don't know I mean, we're a small church, yet I don't know everybody that comes to church. Because the Great Hall being as big as it is, people sit such a distance that I don't see their faces. But this garden hall is so small, and I'm able to walk down this aisle. And so I get to see some people, and I'm like, are you coming for the first time? They said, no, we've been here for 2 years. We've been here for, and I'm like, really? I didn't know. And so one of our problems in this church is people don't feel that they're important, and that when they do something, it makes a difference. I don't know why people feel that way. All right? Now, why systems matter. Systems make I don't want this to be an academic teaching. I want to take you quickly to the 2 things we did. This is the book that has been one of our great anchor points. All right? It says, sorry, I have to read this because of the lines on this one. All right? I'm going to miss. It says, it is impossible to reach our cities through better church services. I don't know when we're going to believe that. How many people do we reach? Listen, can I tell you something? Some of our online messages and PowerPoints go a lot further than the number of people that watch it in church. It's you need to go get this, go and look at the data. You'll be surprised. Now, a lot of pastors will call me and say to me, Pastor, we like that thing you people did in your church. We like what you do, but we can't say anything. You know what I mean? Online. Because they don't want to be caught in maybe we said something controversial. They don't want to be seen. You know what I mean? So, but people get more from what we do. And he's saying here, Allah, what's happening now? I'm just going to hit the high points and then we'll talk. Look at what he's saying. He's saying that it is impossible to reach cities through better churches. While gathered environments as Sunday services can grow a church, only scattered servants can bring life to broken cities. It's time to unlock kingdom identity, kingdom authority, kingdom ministry. It's time to unleash the power of everyone, everywhere, every day, so that the church begins to fill every city, every industry, every family with the beauty and story of Christ. And if you remember, this has always been our thing. As a matter of fact, our theme is experience the kingdom. I don't think any of these things are new. Other people just have maybe a better way of saying it. And the second thing is the other one that I've also shared with people. This one, the shift from gathering to connecting. The shift from gathering to connecting. I had a group of people from TEDx and tried to negotiate for the hall. And they said they wanted us to partner with them. I said, well, even when my mother died, I paid for diesel. So I beg, if you want to use the place, you will pay. You know what I said? Even if it's me, if I'm doing my 70th, I still have to buy something. So I said, whether you like it or not, so I said, but that's not what is bothering me. My problem is, every time we did the e-commerce summit, this is what happened. Which most of you will say, we will bring some of the best speakers that we knew of in this city. They will come. They will sit down, talk to us for 3 days. There will be 800 or 700 people here for the conference. Then we'll say, okay, next year we're going to build on what we taught last year. We introduction to e-commerce, and by the time we come next year, guess what happens? New set of people will come. No growth. So we now discovered that the reason why we were not having growth, and that was why I used to frown at some of the programs we were doing here, is the fact that people need to be guided. I said, if we had done the conference, and started doing monthly incremental, you know what I mean, teachings and sharing and building a committee where people can come to. Every month we had the program, we have the newsletter, you know what I mean, we had something, they had a place they could ask questions, they had mentors they could contact. I said, if we had embedded that into the e-commerce summit, by the time we got into the end of the year, as a matter of fact, not only would the conference have been better attended, we would have had disciples. I don't know if you get the point I'm making, who would have encouraged. And so I tried to explain to people that we're doing this thing upside down. So these guys yesterday, I said, if TEDx is willing to build a community, I will be interested. But if it's just to come and do a conference once a year, I'm not. It's a bloody waste of time. And it's a lot of money. I mean, there's this guy who did this AI conference in Lagos. Those guys spent like 45 million and came to me and said, I should donate money to. I said, me that have experience on conference. Nah, you're wasting your time. We were far more successful in our content for Waiting Be AI than they were with 45 million naira in Lagos. Because that's what we do. We are show-off people. We like that. Wedding. People will dress as if they're going to die tomorrow. And they'll be broke. Wear outfits that are costing millions. Look at this lady, Otadola's daughter just got married. They say her outfit alone is £250,000. How many times is she going to wear it? I finish. So he's saying we need, and I've been shouting this since COVID, a new approach. Whatever church did digitally was to serve events and activity. We used to use church as come to our church. Our event is going on. That's how we used to use social media. And what he's saying is we gave information about registration, about physical interactions. He says, but going forward, church must invert that approach and have a physical that serves the digital. In other words, we have to start producing content that can touch the world. Amazon started everything they do is digital, but they have physical warehouses. We are God's Amazon-like setup. Am I making sense? We do the best quality of things we do, but we're not doing it for ourselves. I've spoken to the children's church. I've spoken to the teens church. I've spoken to the men's group. I've spoken to the women's group. I've had individual meetings. We are the only organization that exists for its non-members. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it until I start crying. We're the only organization in John Toriolo. We're the only organization that exists for its non-members. I don't know why we're going to believe it, when we're going to believe it. And so what I've decided to do is to incorporate that into the very fabric of our church going forward. All right? These are the 4 disciplines of execution. Number 1, focus your energy on what is widely important to you. So I'm going to establish 2 things that are widely important to us. Number 2, we're going to invest our energy in only those 2 things. I mean, apart from the building we're building next door. We're going to focus our energy on those 2 things. Number 3, we're going to keep scoreboards and progress in front of all levels of God. We're going to keep ourselves accountable. Now, I'm going to share with you a vision that belongs to the church, 2. But every unit will have to get its own 2 from the 2 I'm going to share with you now. Am I making sense? Including children's church, including choir, everybody will have to take from the 2 that we're sharing with you now. Everybody, and it's by force. Now, the only power I have is to fire you, and I will enjoy it. Because I haven't enjoyed firing people for a long time. All right? So the number 1 thing we're going to do is we're going to grow this church. We're going to grow attendance in this church. But we're going to make sure it is not transfer growth. We're going to focus on 2 sets of people, unbelievers and unchurched. I use that word very carefully. Unbelievers and people who don't go to church. We're not reaching out. I don't want, because you know what I discovered? I can't remember who I was talking to. There was a young boy in my office who came to help me, AJ. AJ is brilliant with tech. So when we're trying to build the ChatGPT platform, I wanted somebody who could do all the work. So I invited AJ, and AJ began to ask me questions about the church. And I said to him, let me tell you something. The biggest challenge I have in church, he began to ask why people don't understand us. I said the biggest challenge we have in church is people who came from other churches. They've come with their mentality, and so when we try to do something different, they are the first people to kill it. I said that's where our problem is. I said new people, some people like Mr. Donald Olu, look at some people who just came to this church recently. Do they have any qualms? This is the church. This is how this church is. Let us have fun. Some our own people I know, but that's not how we pray in our former church. That's not how we do this. So I found out that it has become a barrier. So I don't want them anymore. My Lord Church, Timbo. I have enough problems. Don't add your own to my own. So we're going to be going after. This particular thing is that growth must not come from transfer. Amen? And like I said, our impact is going to be measured from the unsaved, and we're going to be recording it. And I've told Ronti, if it is 0 we get next Saturday, we're going to announce it that we got 0. We're going to announce it. We're not going to be ashamed. We're going to say, we didn't save anybody last week. We didn't bring anybody to church last week. Simple. We're not going to hide it anymore. And then we're going to print a big scoreboard that we'll put and present to church on Sunday. How many of you know when your son is tired of bringing failure to you one day, when he scores 1, he will come running and say, Daddy, I made 1 out of 10. It's better than 0 out of 10. But we've been scoring 0 for a very long time. So the bridge network is called to multiply kingdom citizens, not John. Okay. The second, that's the first week. That's the first thing. We're going to do that. Second thing we're going to do, the second week, I'm going to leave all this. Well, let me explain. Now, how are we going to do this? Remember what we said about lag measure. So the main thing we're trying to do is fill the house of the unchurched. Okay? The next thing we're going to be looking at, I'm trying to see if it's on the screen. That's the prayer point. No. We're going to have a scoreboard. Our light's gone off again. We're going to have a scoreboard. And that scoreboard is going to have, number 1, the number of first-time visitors we have. It's going to have the number of salvations recorded, number of new disciples group formed, the number of testimonies shared. We're going to have very visible progress by force. And like I said, I don't care if everything is 0, 0, 0. I'm not afraid. Am I making sense? I'll be ashamed. Am I making sense? But I will double my effort. That's it. All right? The second thing that we're going to look at, the second one we're going to do, is engaging members of our church. Engaging them. Engaging them. That means, what do I mean by engagement? Relationship, not just attendance. You know, even with the digital, I was telling Pastor Isaac, we spent a whole month on prayer. Wouldn't it have been nice to have a little summary, you know what I mean, that is shared with everybody, you know what I mean? Like a reminder, you know what I mean, sent to everybody's phone, or a digital newsletter, you know what I mean? And then requesting that, do you need any help anywhere? You know what I mean, in prayer. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to be engaging people. So when you come to this church, as a first timer, we will make sure that we get you involved in something, including armed robbery, just to check if you're listening. You know, we're going to make sure that you must be involved in something. We are either involved in solving your problem, or you are helping us to solve other people's problems. Am I making sense? Or you are breaking new grounds. We don't care. Whichever way. True connection will happen both personally and corporately, both online. Now, this engagement is not limited to physical church members. We're going to be engaging people. I found out that when I started changing the adverts of church, from this Wednesday, come for digging deep, or I call it digging deep. Come for, can you imagine how many years I've left the system and I'm still calling it digging deep? Word Bank. Come for, I used to write, come for Word Bank. What's wrong with you? Aren't you happy? What is it? Okay. So, I used to write, come for Word Bank. When I felt, no, I shouldn't do that. I would say, this Word Bank, we're going to be talking about multiple streams of income. Have you asked yourself, do you have multiple streams of income? You know what I mean? Do you, I won't even invite you to the what am I digging? Yeah. I won't even invite you to the digging deep. I'm going to leave it like that. I won't invite you to the kingdom conversation. I will just challenge you in your life, whether you have such a thing. Then when I'm signing off, I will tell you when our own is happening. Am I making sense? So I give you sufficient information to educate you about why you need multiple streams of income before I talk about the program. Because let me explain to you, if you keep inviting people for program, they will keep ignoring you. How many of you have certain SMSs and certain WhatsApp messages you don't even bother to open? Why? Because you know what the person is going to ask. Come and buy this. Am I right? Come on. He's always selling something to you. But if you have somebody who's always educating you, what are you going to do? You're going to read it. And so we've switched that around, all right? And so that's our main, and there will be prayer points and so on and so forth. Now, let me explain how we're going to measure that. All right? We're going to record weekly small group connections, weekly digital interest. So we're going to be counting how many Facebook post we published? How many people saw the Facebook post? Am I making sense? How many people responded to the Facebook post? How many people are serving in church? Do we have an increase? In other words, did the prayer team go up by 1? Did the choir go up by 2? Am I making sense? We're going to record it. Like I said, even if it's 0 we get to, we will start again. All right? All right? So that's the 2 main things. Who can remember what the 2 main things are? Because I want to go to where we're going. All right? Grow the church. Engagement. Now, all the other 4 things that we're talking about, cadence of accountability, every Saturday leaders meeting going forward will be to look at those data. Am I making sense? And discuss what we can do to improve it. You know what I mean? And what we haven't done, where we made a mistake, where we've done well, we celebrate. Where we haven't done well, we'll correct ourselves. Am I making sense? There will be an aspect of that. There will be maybe like 30 minutes devoted to that. Am I making sense? Just to review those studies, all right? So now, what has this got to do with you? Like I said, there will be cadence of accountability and so on and so forth in every way. But this is where I'm going. Every unit, this is the difference now. Every unit, from the prayer team, the kingdom conversations, the first timer, the coffee break, or the tea break, or the sugar break, whatever you want to call yourself, everybody now has to come up with how do they interpret those 2 things in their units. Am I making sense? So, number 1, the prayer team now has to grow the church. Now, how is it going to grow the church? It can grow it by growing its unit. Am I making sense? It can grow it by praying for people to join the church. Am I making sense? Are you here? How they want to come up with their own week is their business. But they must have a week that grows the church. Am I making sense? That ties into our growth of the church. Am I being clear? So every unit, choir must have, how are you going to grow the church? What are you going to do to make the figures of the church attendance go up, including coffee break? How can coffee break grow the church? Who can give me some examples? How can coffee break grow the church? You see, don't you see that? Can you hear? Some of you, have you ever, you remember those old hard drives that we used to have in our computers? When you put it on, will that go zzz, zzz, zzz? I can hear your brains doing that. It's just going zzz, just booting up. So we're waiting for the Windows logo to come up. Yes, ma. Are you serious? All right. Okay. What else? Anybody, any other idea for coffee break? Okay, let me not restrict it to coffee break. What do you think prayer can do too? What do you think, what can choir do? Not from the choir. What can the choir do to grow the church? But that is a once a year program. Can't be quarterly. You see, you like that quarterly thing. You guys like it. Look, nobody promises you tomorrow. The only day you are promised is today. So I don't want you to tell me what you're going to do in 3 months' time. I may not be here in 3 months' time. I may have relocated. So don't promise me 3 months' time. What can we do? What can the coffee break do? What can the choir do? What can the first timers do? What can the ushers do? What can the motor park people, Holy Police do? What can they do? They have to set 2 weeks. The first week they're setting is helping us grow the church and their unit. The second week they're going to do is how to engage people in church. Those 2 are the requirements of every unit. And every unit must meet every week. Am I making sense? To review their own figures. You know what I mean? Of the action they took. So if the coffee break decides, let's look for something a little, let's get some other ideas for coffee break. I agree we can sell things. That's something we've always tried. to sell things. We've tried that. But if I remember very clearly, when I went to Jesus' house in London, the coffee break were the ones who were running the cafe in the church. You know what I mean? They had a cafe, a real cafe with stools. You know what I mean? And chairs. One of the things we're doing in the new design of the hall, I think I was sharing with somebody yesterday, is that this is, if you notice, we've put a cover over the coffee break area. And our intention is to make sure that we get proper, real carpenters to come and fit real kitchen cabinets. You know what I mean? Classic kitchen cabinets. And beautiful setup, so that there will be 7 people from that place and there'll be lights on. You know what I mean? So one of the things we want to do is that entire back row, we want to see if we can arrange sofas like this. You know what I mean? To create a coffee break setting. I don't know if you know. All the way from where the coffee break is, all the way to the music, to the media place. We want to arrange settees. You know what I mean? So instead of saying go for coffee break, people will go to the back of the hall. You know what I mean? And sit there and have a meal. You know what I mean? But one of the things we can do is, if we can do that setup there, one of the things we need to have at the back of our mind is, it's not so much the coffee break people alone. I think members of the church can say, normally it's only coffee they give in this church on Sunday and a biscuit, but since you are my guest, I'm going to buy you something. I don't know if or lunch or something. You know what I mean? So that will be part of your bribery for bringing them to church. You understand what I'm saying? And that way the coffee break can, because one of the challenges the coffee break is facing is they don't have sufficient funds. So they need a lot of funds to do what they want to do. Yes. Yeah. 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 Coffee, you're talking. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, that's possible. Exactly. That's good. That's for your unit. What about the coffee break people? Aha, so you're looking after yourself, which is typical. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, but we still need more. Need more ideas. Oh yeah, Pastor Isaac. Oh yeah. Yeah. We need content. We need crazy content. No, that's good. So the coffee break people can decide they're going to be producing 5-10 minutes videos that they present every week to the world to say, this is a shortcut on how you can make this. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Yeah. We get the general idea. We can cook. They can come up with weekly cooking tips. You know what I mean? That are uniquely packaged, pre-recorded. You know what I mean? And shared with the church not with the church, on our social media platform. And since it won't be more than a few minutes, we can show it during the coffee break as well. This is brought to you by the coffee break unit. This week you could make a king's meal with 10,000 naira. You know what I mean? This is what we did, and we filmed it. All right, what else? What about are we giving you enough? So that's the first one. Number 2, how are you going to engage people in church? You have 2 options. We want you to engage us as a church. Are you getting the point I'm making? But we also want you to engage people with your unit. What are you going to be doing? You know what I mean? That will make people want to join your unit, both outsiders and people who are inside the church. How can you get them involved? And on this tip he just gave about cooking works both ways. You know what I mean? It can make people join you because they know that every week they're going to learn how to make special meals for their husbands or whatever, or their children or their family. So I'm just saying everybody needs to have this. Okay? All right? So can we have more ideas? What about the choir? What can the choir do? Number 1, 2, what's the first one? Huh? To bring people. We've looked at concert, but again, I'm a little bit. Concerts are not as easy as. Yeah. Okay. What kind of content? The covers, what is special about the covers? Are they like popular songs? Do they change the lyrics or they just do it exactly the same? Yeah, okay, but talk to me about. We had one time where we asked them to take an English song and sing a Yoruba version of it, which was a very popular video at that particular time. Yeah, but see, this is what, guys, I want you to understand that there's going to be weekly reviews. Am I making sense? So whether you like it or not, your unit has to meet every week to review. Now, there are two things we haven't discussed, and that's because I'm going to share it tomorrow. There's what you call lag measures. Lag measures are the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that have joined the church. They will either be 0, there'll be 2, there'll be 1, or there'll be 3. But the lead measures are the things we're going to be doing on a regular basis. For instance, we've said the choir should come up with songs. Now, are the choir going to produce a song every week? Are you getting the point I'm making? And on social media, then that becomes your lead measure. Am I making sense? You do a song, you do it whether it's a cappella or whatever, you do the song, you present it in church, you present it on social media. One of the things I found out was during the coffee break, I found out that we used to play videos of other churches. You know what I mean? We used to play videos of other churches and other organizations. And I said to the media at that particular time, I said, why are we playing the videos of other churches? Why is it that our choir members, you know what I mean, don't have, you know what I mean, clips that they have recorded that we can play during coffee break? You know, our instrumentalists have a jazz, you know what I mean? And that's because we look down on ourselves. I don't know if you know, you get the point. We don't know that we have what it takes to affect people. So I'm saying, when you're looking at this lead measure and you're saying we want to produce song or we want to do a concert, how do you translate a concert to a weekly increase? I don't know if you get my point. I'm not saying you can't do the concert. I'm saying what are you going to be doing every week towards the concert that is going to affect engagement and is going to affect attracting people to the church. I want you to think it through. I don't want it to be something superficial. You know what I mean? So I'm saying if you say we're going to be producing videos, if you say Coffee Break is going to be producing videos, they have to know that they're going to have to produce a minimum maybe of 1 video a week. And it has to be easy for them to do. You know what I mean? And it has to be fast and it has to be of a certain level of quality. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Another thing I always like people to do is to go and take other people's content. You know what I mean? And comment over it so that you don't have to be the one to produce it. I don't know if you get my point. Is it making sense? I want to talk about the prayer team, but if our prayer, Mrs. Ogukola is here, let's talk about the prayer team. What can the prayer team do every week that will bring people to church, and then will get people more engaged in the church? Oh, yeah? I want to play an a cappella song for you. I'm listening. Yeah. They want to record.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I'll go.
I don't like you that much.
So just as we've been doing before, where we say, okay, bring prayer request, but this time around it will spread beyond in-house to actually make it a standard to say, okay, we are receiving this week, what can we pray, how can we pray with you? And then we are receiving prayer requests. And part of it also is that we are also putting out testimonies during that week to say, someone sent a prayer request, we prayed over it, and this was their testimony. And we also let you know that prayers do work, and also please ensure to also send your prayer request.
Okay, we've done that before. It hasn't worked. We even had prayer sheets that we put on the table. If you remember, we started putting prayer sheets on the table. People were not filling it. We started praying specifically for them on Tuesday. Well, we said, write on those sheets. We'll bring it to the prayer team on Tuesday and we'll pray. It didn't work. Why do you think it didn't work? Anybody? No, there's no right answer.
With putting the prayer sheet on the table, I felt because people were not responding, we also gave up. But we stopped. People were taking the books away and the Bible.
Come on, you can do better than that.
So
you are speculating because you have no evidence. You don't have data. If you give me data, I would agree with you.
I think if we have, like what Accord does these days, when service is going on Sunday, he puts a link on the Bridge Network group to say ask your questions there. So maybe every Sunday, or maybe I don't know, we should put a link to like this Skido link to put our prayer requests every Sunday, and because it's anonymous, people won't know who dropped it or something. So I think people would embrace that instead of us putting physical papers on the table, because they will take it away.
We're not asking ourselves the hard questions. The only reason why I will give you my prayer point is if you have a record of results. True or false? If they don't try. That's what you call a catch-22 scenario. Last Sunday, I started inviting people to come up to receive prayer from different ministers in church. You know what I mean? Even the ministers who prayed have to have faith. Am I making sense? Once results start to come out of that, you know what I mean? People will respond even further. I think we're not connecting. I don't know if it's one thing to ask for prayer from somebody. How do you put it? I learned this when I started ministry many years ago. Somebody said to me, when somebody comes to you for counseling and you don't allow the person, even if you have a word of knowledge as soon as the person enters and God gives you a solution to the person's problem, says if you don't allow the person to say what is on their mind, you know what I mean, and let them finish, any counsel you give them, they will doubt it because they will say you didn't hear the story. Am I making sense? It's not, when you are Joshua Selman or you are, what's his name? If there's nothing God cannot do, what do you call it? Jerry Eze. If you're not those people who have a global ministry that is recognized in prayer, if you ask for prayer points with the same kind of bravado, you know what I mean, by which they do it, without first having some level of compassion for what you're praying about, you know what I mean, I think it creates a problem. Am I lying? Talk to me now. I want you to send me prayer points, right? All of you send me prayer. You people won't even send me. And I'm your pastor. But if you come to me and I find out you're going through difficulty, you know what I mean? We haven't been seeing you in church. What's happening? Your countenance is not the way it's supposed to be. Would you like to talk? You know what I mean? Or is there anything I can pray with you about? I don't know if you get the point I'm making. It's a different feeling. So we're not connecting, which is why I said engagement. 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 Another thing is write down prophecies. Don't come to church always wanting to get. Come to church bringing something to church. If you prepare before a service, I truly believe God will give you a word. You know what I mean? For somebody in the congregation. You know what I mean? One of the things I began to notice in the last few, I don't want to go and start jinxing myself now, is that when I come to minister now, I'm usually waiting for him to tell me what he wants to do that day. And you know what I mean? That is specific for that day. It doesn't have to be relevant tomorrow. You know what I mean? Or yesterday. You know what I mean? And what it does to people, it makes them feel you understand what they're going through. You know what I mean? If that word accurately touches where they are. I came in this morning feeling that we are being pressurized to succeed the way the world wants to succeed. Then I realized I wasn't the only one. You know what I mean? We're all measuring ourselves by 200,000 likes, 100,000 likes, this time, and that's not how to make money. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. As a matter of fact, many of these people that have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 50,000 are not making money. I'm serious. Because the algorithm that pays Nigerians is not the same that pays them in the US. I don't know if you get the point. So a lot of them are just speculating. You know what I mean? And then if they are such making the money, why are they trying to invite you to come and make it through them? If I'm asking you, if you have a secret now that is giving you 1 million naira a month, would you happily share it so that people come and take the 1 million from you? So something is wrong. They are making their money from trying to make you feel they can make you do what they are not doing themselves. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Everybody does that, including pastors. So I'm saying we're not connected. Which is why there are two goals, growth and connection. So I'm saying, what can the prayer team really do that will allow people to engage and to grow their unit? We've tried the paper. I'm not saying we shouldn't do that. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying we shouldn't present but we should learn from the failure of the past and say, okay, how do we change it? Because it's only a fool that keeps doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Everybody's quiet. And by the way, the choir, let me warn you about something. I was watching this video a few days ago, and it always amuses me. Some of the most successful YouTuber in the world is a man called Mr. Beast. Have you ever heard about him? This guy gives out hundreds of millions of dollars. This is a super rich person recognized by YouTube and is globally recognized for his success. All right? Now, there was a video I played for you guys here by a guy called, I've forgotten, that guy who did money. I've forgotten his name. I can't remember his name. He spoke about money. We spoke about how to manage at the beginning of last year. No. It's this young boy like this. We did a whole series, a whole month. For 2 months, actually, we did his teachings. He said this. He said, isn't it interesting that Mr. Beast said this? He says, when people come to me and say, how can I be as successful as you're going to be? I will tell them to go and produce 100 videos. He says 9 out of 10 of them will never do it. That's what they want to do. He says, by that, I already know that they can't make it. Am I making sense? Now, this is the second part of Mr. Beast thing. Mr. Beast starts the video with the most important aspect of the video. You're winning $5 million today. You know what I mean? And all you have to do is, and then he starts the video. The average Nigerian, my name is Isaac. I live in Ibadan. My brother is so and so. And do you know that he will be talking for the next, and people make up their minds in the first few seconds of a video. So what is wrong with us generally is we see patterns in how people succeed, but we think we are special. So one of the things you have to be careful in the choir is you either have to have a niche collectively as a choir, you know what I mean, that you are good at, or each one of you takes a niche. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. If somebody is doing a cappella, test it. Let him continue to do the a cappella. Somebody else is doing something, try, but don't jump from one thing to do another and keep. And you have to be consistent in your doing it. Am I making sense? Like she said, and you were half right. We stopped believing in even offering people prayer. We gave up. Because we got discouraged. So most of us don't look at patterns. I was asking him the other day, do you watch your own videos when you finish? Not from the point of view of trying to brag to yourself. It's to see where you made mistakes. 2 days ago, you were talking to Pastor Olumide. You were looking at your telephone. You were bending down looking at your telephone. You were not concentrating. I had to talk to him and said, you guys should have zoomed closer to him so that I moved the chairs a little closer so that you won't see the and he wasn't doing it because he wanted to be discouraged, but he wanted to make sure that his points were, you know what I mean? And he was keeping to time. But nobody noticed. We don't review anything. And then they cut Pastor Lumide's chair here and cut his own on this side. Nobody looks at it and goes back and says, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean? How am I going to do what I did last week better? That's why we need this weekly. The reason why you have weekly meetings is to correct yourself. Now, please don't forget, there's something in this particular presentation that talks about the whirlwind. The whirlwind is the flat tire, the child falling ill, the house that needs to be cleaned, the clothes that need to be washed, the fact that you have to go to your work, the fact that you have to look for money. All those are going to continue. Am I making sense? I had to send a memo to Roti yesterday. I said to her that I've been asking my staff to clean the Great Hall, start cleaning it slowly. You see, I know something about slow cleaning. If they just carry out 4 or 5 things every day, in 10 days they would have carried out 40. But my staff are the kind of people that if you don't drag all of them to the hall to say, clear out all 40, that's when and then they'll be grumbling and sweating and be feeling bad. But I'm telling them, until we finish, why don't you start taking out the things that we don't need? You know what I mean? Slowly. Now, but every time we come to work, there's always something happening in the place. Either something has broken down, so Augustine now has to go and fix it. You know what I mean? Or there's a customer around, so the admin has to go and attend to the customer. Am I making sense? Or there's a problem, somebody fell ill, he didn't come to work. So I found out that if you don't say, I'm going to spend 1 hour a day, you know what I mean, clearing out this hall, whether it is raining or fire is burning, you will never do. Same way about building your house. If you don't make up your mind and say, this house, this year, I'm going to build. So every day, I'm going to buy a block. Whether it is raining or a sun is shining, I'm buying 2 blocks. So this whirlwind is going to continue. And what has happened to us at TBN is that we keep getting carried away by the whirlwind. Anniversary is coming. Drop everything you're going to do. Do anniversary. Anniversary finish. You jump into something else. We're going to do this. So I'm saying these 2 things are going to remain on our calendar. Am I making sense? For the rest of the life of this church. And every unit must put it on its calendar. Taking Sonyoba. But I'm saying it's not just, don't limit this to church. Think about the things you want to accomplish. Think about the things you've been postponing for all your life. Just think about it. You want to build a house. You want to do a master's. You want to do a PhD. You want to look at what has happened to your life. As you're about to start, am I right? Something happens. And that's what they call the whirlwind. And the Bible talks about that whirlwind. I'll show you tomorrow. The Bible talks about that whirlwind. You see, right now, Oroti had to tell me about the day I was burying my mother-in-law. I thought it was this Tuesday. You say, why? Because if I don't focus on what is in front of me, I'm not ready. I'm not going to start thinking about that, including finding money for her. I won't start until Monday or Tuesday. I'm telling you. You say, why? I know myself. I can get overwhelmed and distracted. You know what I mean? So I know that, let me finish my work here. I have this building to finish. You know what I mean? I have things to finish here. Let me finish. Then face the funeral. But I can't do the 2 together. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. I know myself. So on Tuesday now, when you start getting email from me about funeral, you know that I've joined the funeral thing. But right now, I couldn't, because my wife can plan 6 months ahead. I don't plan like that. I don't. I know how to execute, so I don't have problems. I don't do long term. The problem is that I have problems that come in every day. So I'm saying to you, you are going to have the same problem in your life. And it's affecting us in this church. We're not focused on anything. And I'm saying I want us to focus on these two things. The choir must say, what are we doing this week? We must release that a cappella song. You know what I mean? We must talk about worship. We must, you know what I mean? One we're all avoiding, I must invite somebody. I must just talk to somebody. Can you just come this Sunday? And there are people in church you need to walk up to and say, I think you're going to be a good prayer warrior. I think we need your help. We're forgetting the most. I think you're going to be very good in the choir. I heard you singing the other day in the toilet. That's engagement. Am I making sense? We're looking for somebody to run our kitchen. We're employing people from outside. And there are people in this church who have no jobs. We employed one and we now know why he has no job. The guy was the specialist at dodging. Have you ever watched this video of this guy who's not doing anything but everybody carrying carton? I come and tell him, that's what he was doing. I said, I now know why you are jobless. Nothing. 3 days. We'll be, can you imagine looking for somebody who just joined you 3 days in this compound? Where is so and so? Nobody knows. Then you're going to find him one nook and cranny, one place, sitting down. And he wants salary at the end of the month. So we now know why he has no job. So when he comes to church, I just wave at him at a distance. And I know no tithe is coming from him too. So please, there are people in this church who don't have jobs. There are girls in this church who don't have work to do. I was saying, Lori's been talking to some graduate to come and join. I said, what are they bringing? Don't they have any creativity in their head? Can't they come and say, let us do something different? You know what I mean? Let's just do something different. Let's have karaoke. Let's arrange the tables different. Let's go crazy and see whether it works. No, everybody's playing safe. So what can the prayer team do? What can Kingdom Conversations do? You see, it's not enough. I said our most popular Kingdom Conversation has been our sex topic. That's the largest amount of views. You know what is even nice about that one? They are still watching it today. People still sneak to go and watch the sex videos. What does that tell you about what people want to talk about? Let me tell you how I get the topics for Kingdom Conversation. I go on Google and I search for what Nigerians are searching for online. So I look at what they are searching for online. I don't always choose the top one, but I choose among the first 3 or 4. And then I tag a title that I feel will bring them in. Now, we've done it. We've done a 30 minutes recording. Look, Dr. Degbala, that same thing happened when he did this program 2 weeks ago with Servio. We did a program here for him. You were one of the MCs. I took his videos and I snapped them up into short form. Because nobody's going to sit for 1 hour to watch Kingdom Conversation. But if we cut the videos, especially the controversial parts, but that takes work. So have you cut the video this week? Am I making sense? Have you shared it? How many people saw it? You know what I mean? Next week, did you cut 2 pieces? You know what I mean? How many people saw it? Those are lead measures. They always affect your results. All of a sudden, attendance, people watching the program will start going up, even if it's slowly. Am I making sense? Unfortunately, you and I have a problem. We have a big problem in Christianity. What's the big problem? God considers a soul worth the whole world. So when the world is celebrating 100,000 followers, God is happy when you get 1. But it takes effort. Pastor Isaac put on the platform today, membership. Are you a member? And everybody on that platform is a member. Why is everybody on that platform not sending it to somebody that they know in church who has not registered for membership? It can't be that important. Let me explain something to you. When I write people in this church, not a generic letter, when I write them and I put their name and I sign, they feel special. If somebody's having a baby and I stand at the door, I'm not the doctor. All I do is sit with them. People want to be treated special. Am I making sense? This lady doesn't drink tea. She doesn't like coffee. But she likes Milo. Madam, just for you, we brought Milo. That can keep her in church for the next 1 year. But without engagement, am I making sense? We would never do that. I'm not going to tell your units what you're going to do. But every week, your unit has to supply to Roti the data from your unit. Am I making sense? For her to give it to us on Saturday morning to review. And even if it's 0, you have to give it to us. I was telling her the other day, she said the other day that they made, I can't remember what announcements they made, Pachi and Pastor Isaac. I can't remember. I asked her a question. She's gone now. She's traveled. I said, but you know TBN. Anytime you make an announcement and there's no media to support it, they don't take you serious. You see, the fact that you went out of your way to create a poster, you know what I mean? The fact that you did an artwork, you know what I mean? And you put it up, you engage the person's eyes, their ears. It's far more powerful than, hey, if you are pregnant in this church, come and see us after the service. No, there should be a nice big pregnant picture on the screen. But it takes effort. When I was in Unilag, I had a guy called Marwan Grace, dead now. He should be dead now. I know that he's dead. Because he was 77 when I left school. That was 30-something years ago. He should be dead now. Warren would send me to Ibadan to go and buy carvings from Ibadan. I would rush to Premier Hotel, pick any carving from the top of it, rush to anyone I liked. So one day Warren sat me down and said, Francis, you don't know how to pick carvings. He says, let me show you. He went to bring one of his carvings. He brought it. He said, anybody who can carve the fingernails, the rings in people's ears, the mustache on the nose, is a detailed carver who cares. He says, when you go back to Ibadan to look for carving, look for the carvings where you know this person has detailed the fingernail on the cuff. And sometimes they will put even the what they call it, ring, the print, thumb print. They will put it on the carving. They will put mustache. They will put tribal marks. They will put details. That he says that's how you know somebody who knows what. And how many of you have ever seen this thing? It's a Muslim saying, but it's a fantastic one. God is in the details. It's not people. When you do something superficially, everybody knows. I'm telling you, especially when you preach superficially. When you preach superficially, you just come in, you just got ready. He thinks I don't know when he's not ready. You can see it. You can just see it. There's no depth. You know what I mean? There's no calmness. You know what I mean? There's no clear purpose. And I shared this when that lady came to do her anniversary 2 years ago. I said to her, it was just last year. It was last year. She said, Pastor, you are giving me 15 minutes. I said, you will do more in 15 minutes than you'll do in 1 hour. Because for you to prepare for a 15-minute sermon, you know how to throw away the rubbish. And I tell Pastor Isaac all the time, the person who speaks for 1 hour, I can do more in 5 minutes than the person who spoke for 1 hour. Stop thinking that the longer you are on the pulpit, the more powerful you are. So if we're not ready to pay this kind of, one of the things I said this morning is, I grew up with the mentality that any time I served God, I got a reward. I don't know where we think it has changed. Where God is number 2. And somebody said this, Bill Johnson. He said, if God is number 1, you don't need to worry about number 2. Because when I grew up, it was God number one, your family, then your ministry. Some other people say, no, God is number one, your ministry, then your family. The guy said, forget about that argument. He says, if God is number one, you will know what to do next. And my problem with most of you is that go wherever you like. Do whatever you like. Accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. He's still going to ask you, what did you do with what I gave you? What did you do with the opportunity I gave you? Oh, my children have to pay their school fees. I heard. What did you do? Did I tell you I couldn't pay it? And we are becoming like that. And the problem is that, like I said this morning, we're competing with unbelievers who are very good at what they do. And so we are abandoning our strength on the altar of trying to catch up and hustle like unbelievers. They will beat you all the time, but with God, they can't touch you. So what are we going to do? Which other unit haven't we touched so far? All of us are evangelists. We know that. It's just that I think maybe we need to have an evangelistic department. Maybe that's something we should look at. Because we're not doing anything like that. Which other unit haven't we discussed this much? We'll look at that. Any other unit? We've done prayer. We've done choir. Media. What is media? Ola, what is media going to do? Dr. Adegwala's video, I'm the one that edited it. I couldn't be bothered. I just couldn't be bothered. You know, I remember when we were doing Dr. Adegwala's program, I actually almost got angry with them. I got angry with them and told them to give them rice without stew. They didn't start recording on time. And I'm like, we had 3-4 guests who came. I had announced it, Dr. Mosuro. They didn't take one single picture. So my question is, you don't even know your craft. So what is the media going to do? They think it's just to record. And I was telling Allah that they've become so good that they don't even hear what we're talking about in church anymore. It's not for us, it's for them. So Allah, we're asking you now, what are you going to do? Every week, what are you going to do that will, number one, grow the church, and number two, engage people in church? There's a software. I called a friend of mine in the States a few days ago, and I said to him, sir, I beg you, I need $1,000 because I spend an average of $100 a month on all the software I pay for this church. I pay for Opus Clip, I pay for Zoom, I pay for Otter, I pay for CapCut. All of it comes from my account. By the time I finish, it's $100 a month. That's 155,000 naira every single month. And the problem I have is I have an account in Bank of America. Once my cash drops below $2,000, they start charging me almost $100 a month to keep the account running. So I called him to say, I need you to either take off the $100 off my account or be paying me $100 every month so that my account will never. Can you imagine me asking something? I could have asked him for $1 million naira. I'm asking him for $100. But I didn't want the account to drop. So, and what I've done is that I've allowed all my media people, they have my email address, they can access all these platforms. So they have tools. The reason why we were able to do the ChatGPT thing is because I pay $20 a month. Every month. Now we can go there and ask questions. So anybody who says doesn't know anything is lying. Now it's not very accurate yet because we have to keep training the GPT. You know, we have to keep uploading the information. I'm going to upload the next anniversary information. Anything that I feel is missing, I'll go and upload it. I have to train it. I have to tell it, note this. You know, I mean, you have to keep feeding it. You know, if you go and ask it for the anniversary, it will tell you last year's anniversary because that's the only record we've uploaded. So I don't have to go and put up this year's anniversary. But even that takes time. But my media people, I had shared it with the media department. I had sent them the videos on how to create the particular content. All of them ignored it. All of them, including Allah here. There was not one person who checked it out. I keep telling them, I'm 64 in a few months' time. I know more than 20-year-olds. on the internet. And I will still make heaven. At least I used to be in Redeem, so I made heaven. So what is the media? I'm waiting for you, Chief. You are the assistant head of the department. Since your head is not here, what are you going to do different? I'm serious. Let me tell you something. I'm going to make a statement, and some of you are not going to believe me. There are certain units I will shut down. There was some in this church I was prepared to let the instrumentalists go, and we'll be using track. Seriously. I've reached a place in my life where nobody's going to hold me to ransom. Nobody is going to hold me to ransom. I will play tracks. And believe me, the Holy Ghost will come down. I have no problem about it. What hurts me the most is that we forget that we're dealing with human beings for whom Christ died. And we have time to give excuses. Somebody else, you give them an assignment, they say, I was busy. I said, busy doing what? Doing what? It's the other way around. Pastor Escort will call me. Francis, be in my house 7 a.m. tomorrow. He's not going to ask me what my plans for tomorrow were. 5 a.m., I've left my house. I'm driving to Lagos. I arrive. And it was just to sign a paper or to tell him something. I will sign. Is that all, Pastor? I say, yes, you can go. I will come back. Whatever I missed, whatever opportunity I lost, God has a way of multiplying it back to me without fear. Because I knew I was doing a service unto the Lord. But in this generation, you call somebody, send them a message. They won't even read your message. They won't even respond. We say we're serving God. Where's what are we going to do? Media, waiting. Because you have to take this message to your people. What are you going to do differently? Shabi is your department in charge of the sound system. If it doesn't work for them, who
So that's what I feel, sir.
No, that's not what we said, Ola. That's not what we said. What we said is every unit, what are they going to start doing from this weekend that will bring people to church? You have to be specific about what you're going to do. It has to be measurable, and it has to happen every week, and it has to be reviewed. I remember we said that the media unit is the unit that is broadcasting into the realm of the Spirit, and that you guys needed to pray every week and meet. In the last 6 to 8 months, have you done that?
On that, sir. That's basically what we'll be doing. I can't decide alone because I'm not the only
Why
one.
can't you decide alone? You can't decide alone to pray and invite 1 or 2 people.
I can do that, but
So what's
I
the
have
problem?
to tell people as well because
and they will be angry that you're
Yoruba
praying.
used to say "Igi kole daboshe."
No, that's Yoruba, not the Bible. Don't care
That's
what
how
Yoruba
it
says.
applies.
No. You see, again, ladies and gentlemen, again, I think this typically shows when your culture is stronger than the Bible. I had a carpenter here. The carpenter was doing the wrong thing. Construction, maybe the ceiling or something. My old Baba, who has been with me for about 30 years, saw him. And I finally got angry, and I called him. I said, Baba, don't worry, but he cannot pour sand into the person's gari. So I said, it was my own gari that you can pour sand into. That's not right. I said to him, the first thing he should have done was go to the man. He doesn't have to come to me. And say to the man, Oga, what you are doing is wrong. If you don't correct it, I will tell the person you are working for that what you are doing is wrong. You've given him a chance to repent. If he doesn't repent, you have every right to report it. But to say you are going to keep quiet, it's a big problem. Oh. And it's Yoruba in his making. It's a common thing in this part of the world. There is no neutrality. You are either on one side or you are on the other. There is nothing like that. You can't see something going wrong and you say you're not going to do something about it. Whether you can see husband and wife fighting in the next house. You can't be neutral. The least you can do is go and pray for them. And say, God, solve the problem of that house. Or sometimes go and gather the children and say, come and play in my house while they are fighting. You're not taking sides. You see, I'm going to share a very private thing. There's this couple. There was a lot of problems. And I used to keep quiet for a very long time. I'll keep quiet. Don't take sides. But I realized at the end of the day, my silence damaged the children. We have to stop some of these things. We have to really stop them. And this, and people think that what you're going to do is talk about it. Pastor, Ms. You see what? No, that's not what you do. You sit down and say, okay, what can I do by myself? The media team is not praying on Saturday. I will wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? And I will pray for 1 hour for the media team. And I will invite 1 or 2 people to join me. And I will ask, part of the prayer meeting is that the media should go back to praying. Am I making sense? And wait. I don't even have to come and report anybody. You know what I mean? And so you know that there's cover. I don't know if you get my point. It's a bad thing we do. And the Bible, unfortunately, the Bible says the traditions of men has made the gospel of no effect. We're playing with fire. No. Allah, I'm sending you to the unit now. And that's why I said you should record this. Every unit, starting this Sunday, must have 2 goals that will help, number 1, grow the church. Number 2, engage the members of the church. I don't even think media... Okay, for instance, have you noticed something? We said, I don't know how many times they've announced it. The PowerPoint presentation that was done today is available. How many people have come to collect? Huh? How... Today. I'm not talking about today. In the past. Yes. How many people normally come? Huh? 2. Good. You have a church of 125, let's say 150, and only 2 people come to pick up a slide. What does that tell you? Okay. What if I turned it on his head? What if I turned it on his head? Rather than share the whole slide, you know what I mean? I just take out snippets and share it. Then I ask you, do you want more? How many people do you think will come after that? You see, it's very easy to blame other people. But somebody just finished service, the child is poo-pooed on his pant, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's looking for money to go home, you know what I mean? He has issues. I don't know if you get the point. She's looking at me because she knows what I'm talking about. What happens to you? You suddenly get what? Distracted. Am I making sense? Then a week goes. The intensity of the message has declined. Am I right? Huh? And suddenly you forget to ask for the message. Now, what is our object? Is our object to give you the message or to be a blessing? I'm not saying give them the whole thing. I don't give anybody what they don't want. That I don't, that I'm a, but I'm saying, how easy can you make it? Are you getting the point I'm making? Or you put up a barcode and say, scan this barcode and it will be downloaded to your phone. Amazon. How many of you shop on Amazon? How many of you shop on Amazon? None of you? You people are really broke. I'm joking. How many of you shop on Jumia? Good. Very good. Whatever you do on Jumia, you probably have to click like how many times before you can check out? Eh? Good. On Amazon, if you do more than 2 clicks, they are that fast. How many of you have tried to return something to Jumia? Huh? Yeah, they will take it, but they will give you wahala. But the reason why they do that has nothing to do with them alone. It has to do with our culture. Our people are cheats. Nigerians, by default, you heard what happened during Dirty December. Nigerians flew in from abroad, used their credit card to check into hotels in Lagos, into Airbnbs. Their cards were swiped. And then they went back to their different countries and began to report that there was fraud in Nigeria. And people lost millions of dollars in Lagos. This last December. Because Nigerians by default. So what Jumia and Konga try to do, you know what I mean, is to try and eliminate, you know what I mean, those insincere people. America is a totally different culture. You know what I mean? If you steal from Jumia, it is Jumia's job to come and arrest you and recover their goods. In America, if you steal from Amazon, it's not Amazon's job. It's the job of the police. You know what I mean? To come after you. Not only will they arrest you, they will recover, take you to court, and jail you. Amazon won't do anything. The only thing the police will say, Amazon, we have recovered your goods. Come on collect. In Nigeria, you will pay the policeman. You bring car to come and help. You use your car to arrest a thief. So Nigeria is a totally different kettle of fish. And so because of that, they've put so many stumbling blocks in the way. But everybody in the world wants to get things as easy as possible. Everybody wants things to be easy. Our job is to make it easy for them. Okay, what's his name? Selma. Every time Selman goes live, once you like his page, you get a notification that they're live. Do we have that? Do we attach, let me finish. Do we attach a link to the PowerPoint to the video? Abi? I'm asking now. It's on our Telegram here. I'm just saying we can make it easier. We can make it better. But it's going to take effort. And I don't want it to be, okay, this weekend they've done it and next week. No, I'm saying every week we're going to figure out how to improve what we're doing. I'm going to be sharing this with the church tomorrow. And so I'm appealing to you. Sister Jumoke is here. Let's ask her now. She doesn't know what we've said since. So maybe somebody should lay hands on her so that she can receive it. Yes. Yeah.
Recently, I stumbled on a video on Instagram where the man focused on church media. And he said, guys, this modern day church do not grow the church only through follow-ups anymore. That the churches now grow the church through shorts and content we put out there. So he was now asking church media, how consistent are you? Or he was now throwing jabs and you are still waiting for follow-up. You are still waiting for the way we do it in the old ways. So out of curiosity, I felt, okay, what can we do? Because I remember when we spoke, had this discussion within ourselves, and people keep saying the job is too much for me. I'll go to work.
Yeah.
So it now brings me back to the first thing Pastor said this morning. Let's grow the church. And I feel if we grow the church and we have enough hands, I promise us these complaints will reduce. Because he said once people come in, let's engage them. So once they come in, and we'll probably have a discussion with Kyle, hey, welcome to the Bridge Network. What do you love to do? I'm into media. Okay, please, can you? It will just reduce Ola's job. It will reduce. I had to go and start learning how to use CapCut because of the video I saw. That when I'm ready, I would now go and meet them. Okay, what videos do you want to cut this week? And help, even though I'm in the choir. Like what Marvelous and Angela are doing now. Because we've discussed in the choir that we don't have enough hands in church. So she said, okay, I would be in the choir and I'll also do protocol. Then Angela said, I'll be in the choir and also help out with ushering. So I didn't want to just leave it at, okay, let's grow the church, let's grow the church. We that are members of the church now, how can we also help other units? Because the work, sir, is too much for some people. And we have to be sincere because we won't get the best out of us if the workload is too much. So for me now, I've learned how to download videos like our church video through SS something. It was Shegun that taught me. And I'll have it on my phone. Then I can upload on CapCut to cut. Yeah. Once I'm done with that, I would also volunteer in that aspect to help cut videos. So I feel we should all think of how we can all come in. This thing is on our neck. We can't, because if pastor is blaming one person, we're also at fault too.
I'm not blaming. I was talking to the entire unit. So I wasn't talking to him because he as a person has changed the face of what we're doing here. As Ola as a person, he's changed the pace. All that struggle we have early in the morning and all that has been eliminated because he's always there. And he's been faithful there. I'm talking to his unit. My challenge is, like she said, she's right. I won't lie to you. I got to an extent where I said, buy me out. I will sell the place. I will sell news streams. And move on. Church can buy it. Or individuals can buy it. I will just sign a contract that church stays here. Okunle said to me, no, Pastor. Let's grow the church. Once we grow the church, remember that scripture that says the money is always in the mouth of the fish. She's right. But some of us have to make sacrifices. Remember the book that we recommended, that Pastor Bade recommended? Have you read it, my sister? The one we put on the... You have to. Where it talks about how to handle first-timers. Abi? There's a whole book on how to handle first-timers. I also gave everybody a copy of Pastor Bade's message. Not only that, I transcribed it and created a PowerPoint. You can force a horse to the water. You can't force it to drink. Is she busy? Does she have responsibility? Yes. So the question is not, she's not doing her job well, or she's not doing this. It is how can we help her to accomplish what needs to be accomplished? What do I have that she needs? I don't know if you get my point. She's the one that came up with this idea of the banners. She came to me and said, nobody knows where to go in church. They don't know where the toilets are. They don't know whether the church is meeting here. And she wants to go and make banners. And you know me, I can be very fussy about design. So I said, okay, tell me what you want to put there. I will design it and we'll figure it out. And these banners have made a huge difference. I started off this evening by reminding everybody, or this morning, why do I always preach at night? I started off this afternoon or this morning about making this, paying this price first. Even in our prayer, he says first and foremost, pray for kings and for those who are in authority. Listen, you can decide to pray for kings second. You can decide to pray for them third. You can decide not to even pray for them at all. Heaven is not going to, lightning is not going to come from heaven and kill you. That's the mercy of our God. Am I making sense? So, let me ask you a stupid question. What is the benefit of praying for kings and for those who are in authority? Anybody? You may not think you are not. You are. You may not think that you are not living a quiet and peaceable life. Have you noticed how many times, many things happen in this country and you feel those things are far away from me? I don't know if I'm making any sense. So, if God tells you to do something he's not going to punish you for, it means in that thing there's hidden benefits. Don't tithe. Don't give. He's not going to kill you. You're not going to hell. What you just do is deprive yourself of the benefits. And then let me tell you the one that probably hurts me the most is when you stand at the door and don't allow other people to do what they need to do. If you can't do it, most of you have been with me a long time. Have you ever seen me bitter towards anybody who has left this church? It's not part of my nature. I don't know how to do it. I want to. It's not I don't have the desire. I want to be angry with people when they leave. But I found out that I don't have a place in my heart for that. Everybody has a right to move on. I don't know if you get my point. Everybody, including myself. I can come and meet you and say, "Mi Oshemo. Can I fetch for me?" Do you know one of the most painful things about suicide is that people who kill themselves don't know the impact of what their living does to people that they keep on earth. It's like we can do this. So, am I making sense? But it's going to take focus. That's why I've reduced it to two things. And we learned from Pastor Bade, the secret is anybody who comes through that door does not leave. He doesn't leave by engagement. Our job is to bring the people through the door. Sister Jumoke's unit and all of us is to keep the person here. So, I'm going to let you. So, I'm begging you. Sister Jumoke, we have two goals, and I'm going to say it for the last time. The number one goal is we're going to grow this church. And we're going to have a scoreboard every Saturday, starting from next week Saturday, where there will be data on how many people we brought to church, how the units grow, how many converts we have, how many people give their life to Christ. The second goal is to engage people in this church. Once you come in, you should be involved in something. Now, when I mean involved in something, it means you should be part of a unit. If you're not part of a unit, you have to be doing something. You know what I mean? That connects you to this kingdom that we represent. So you don't necessarily have to be a member of a unit, but we will find a way of making sure that you are involved. We will keep you engaged. In other words, one of the things we're doing with Kingdom Conversations is that have you noticed we're trying to engage members of the church? There's this gentleman that did Jackpot for us. The guy is hungry to come back. We have to figure out how to bring him back. You know what I mean? And he has good stuff, you know what I mean, to share. So anything that you need to do, like I said, somebody comes to church, she doesn't drink tea, she doesn't drink coffee, she likes Milo. Come and meet me. We'll find 500 naira and buy Milo for her. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Just make her feel special. Somebody has a child that has special needs. Let's engage them. You know what I mean? I tell people sometimes, I may not have the solution to your problem, but one thing God has assured me is that I will always know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who can help you. I believe that. I believe in the 5 degrees of separation. That if you want to see Tinubu, I promise you, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody Who knows somebody that will take you to Tinubu? I'm a firm believer in that. I just don't want to see him because I have nothing to say to him. So it's not part of my agenda. The day I have something to say to him, I will find that somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that will take me to Tinubu. And all of you are like that. We're 5 degrees to knowing anybody. So we want people engaged in church. Now, the person likes watching movies. Oga, can we show movies in church? Can you come and help us? Just find a way of getting the person involved. It's not necessarily always about TBN, but it always has to be about the kingdom. What are you doing in the kingdom? What are you engaged in? What are you know what I mean? And if you are, we found somebody in our church who supplied, and then one of the things we also wanted to do was a business directory where people will know businesses that are in church so that we'll stop giving contracts to outsiders. You know what I mean? We need that. You know what I mean? We need that. So that's what we're saying. So now every unit in church now has to find 2 goals within those 2 goals. In other words, the first-timer unit has to tell us, how do you plan to grow the church from your unit perspective and to grow your unit? Am I making sense? How are you going to engage people to join your unit or to work with you in seeing outsiders? You know what I mean? It's like, I've said it before. Dr. Adegbola is a 70-year-old man. And a 65-year-old man comes to church. I think it's okay to walk up to Dr. Adegbola. Doc, can you help us call this person? You know what I mean? Or I will sit down with Dr. I'm going to call this person. You talk to him. Let him know that there's a 70-year-old like you in church. That's engaging Dr. Adegbola. Am I making sense? The second thing is, how are you going to engage people in church so that they are doing something? And I just gave the example of Dr. Adegbola. But it can also be with the children. You know what I mean? It can also be with the teenagers. Every unit would also have to report every Friday. You will send a report. This is what we've done this week. They're called lead measures. I will explain them tomorrow. Lead measures are like posting something on social media. For instance, this is the easiest example from the book. If you want to lose weight, you want to lose 10 kilos, your target is 10 kilos. Am I making sense? But your lead measure is, number 1, what do you eat and how much exercise do you do? So the exercise and what you eat are your lead measure. So you measure every day. I ate 50 calories. I ate 20 calories. So tomorrow if I ate 150 calories, I know that the next day I should reduce the number of calories I ate. Am I making sense? And I should also, if I didn't exercise today, I should find out how I can make up for the time I didn't exercise. They believe, and they're right, that if I can control what I eat and I can control how much exercise I do, it will bring that 10 kilos. It will give you that 10 kilos. Do you understand that? I will explain all that again, like I said, tomorrow with scriptures. So basically what I'm trying to say is that every unit is going to do that. And every Saturday meeting, we're going to spend at least 30 minutes, you know what I mean, just reviewing the data. And I don't care if the data is 0. It will force us to go back to the drawing board. Now, having said all this, something I want to warn you guys about is that the way we are designed as Christians is fellowshipping to birth things. When you try to go solo on something, the Bible says iron sharpens iron. If you don't know what to do, sit down, talk. Am I making sense? Talk with me. Talk with people who you think know what they're, you know what I mean? Ideas will come. But if you go solo and because we have a way of looking at things from our own perspective and seeing limits. But when you talk with somebody, you'll be surprised at what they're going to come up with. Like I told you, I had to call somebody and say, I need $1,000. And he said, how can you be in this situation? Give me the details. I haven't given it to him yet. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, I had a problem. I discussed with somebody, and the problem is, by the grace of God, solved. Please, don't keep it to yourself. So don't come and tell us 0, 0, 0, 0 for the next 3 months. We're not interested in that. Every week, you don't succeed. You brainstorm. You know what I mean? You try something different, and you move on. I'm a bit tired now, so I'm going to finish. Fellowship will bring out these things. But this is our priority, and I'm not backing down on this. I can't. There's no point spending 50, 60, 70 million doing what we're doing. Am I making sense? For what? People are even asking us to stay in this hall, which is a legitimate perspective. Am I making sense? She always wanted us to move here a long time ago. It's a legitimate perspective to stay in this hall. But what do I say to somebody who's giving me 20 million or 10 million? What do I say to the person? We have collected your money, but we're staying here. I can't do that now. Am I making sense? Because the person had faith. So, but I also don't want us to go back and we're only filling 2 rows in the church. It'll be a waste of time. Apart from that, we need people to do this work. And Dorcas, who used to sit here, was right. The more hands we have, the lighter this work will be. Since, like I said, since Ola came, the burden of media has been greatly reduced. But I also think if Ola gets somebody to help him, his burden will be further reduced. So we need to get more people. And sometimes getting somebody from outside is better than trying to get somebody in church who's already stuck in their ways. You know what I mean? But if we can just get people involved, get people engaged, you'll be surprised what they would do. This young boy, how did I find him? He was one who won the video competition that Pastor Kunle did. It was then I knew the boy. And then he plays games online. For somebody to play games at that level and have that kind of thousand, well, I knew tech would not be his problem. I had to guide him and all that. But what I'm saying is that I knew that I wouldn't have to be explaining the basics of technology to him. And he brought his own fresh perspective in the thing we were doing. I mean, so much that he was saying, have we finished? I said, we haven't finished. I want to get input from other people. So please, let's leverage this thing and let's make a difference. So I'm telling you, starting next Saturday. So we're going to send you, all of you, we're going to send you the presentation. We're going to send you the format for recording. We're going to show you what the scoreboard looks like. You're going to have a scoreboard. You can design it anyhow you like, but there'll be a scoreboard. We've developed an Excel one that all you have to do is put the figures, it will calculate the growth. So, but we have to do this, or else we're not going to grow. I've been fighting the prayer unit. I've been fighting many units about their lack of engagement of the people in church. I've been fighting them for a long time, that we can't continue to do this. There are people who will be grateful for the knowledge you share with them. But we keep keeping these things to ourselves. And you know what happens to the Dead Sea? When you keep receiving and you don't give out, you die. And TBN cannot die. Amen? All right. So please, like I said, I'm going to give Roti all the information. By tomorrow, I'm going to circulate it to everybody. You're not going to fully understand it. So I'm going to attach clips of videos. You know what I mean? I'm not going to attack the videos. I'm going to attach links to the videos so you can go and watch it again. But let me say this, and this is probably going to be my second to the last. It will benefit you. It will change your life if you learn how to execute. I'm promising you. And by the way, these 4 disciplines of execution is a system. It is a system. And we need systems in our lives. Those of you who haven't built your houses, you will build it. Amen. Those of you who are believing God for, if you want your kids to go abroad, you don't wait until they are 19 or 18 to start planning for that. You start doing it now. Many years ago, I heard this guy say, if you build 2 flats, you can take your children to any university in the world. He says, but you have to build it when they are born and start saving their rent from that day until they need it. If you knew that, wouldn't you have started when your kid was 2 or 1? But you didn't know. Now you know. It's execution. I beg you, help me. Apart from that, I'm growing old. I want to stop this work. My wife has retired before me. No, that the kind of stop I want to do. The kind of stop I want to do is not ministry. It's this superficial thing that I keep doing. I don't want to do them anymore. I'm really tired of them. I want to face serious matters. I enjoy doing what we did with Dr. Adegbola. In my mind's eye, if you was it yesterday, I began to think to myself that one of these days, Dawn is going to come and meet me and say they want to do an exhibition for somebody else. And I'm hoping that it's Makinde. I don't know if you know what I mean. Somebody like that. You know what I mean? You say, why? You can change things. You can shift perspectives. And I believe that's what I'm here for. That's why I'm tired. Did we make any arrangements for anything?
I want to go and make arrangements.